We have Wave Freeform, Flops a Lot, Rogue Pixel, Ty Bean, Coco Frosty, and Immortal Albino Rhino. We'll be right back.
My bad.
And welcome back to Esports Ohio Regionals Overwatch. We have Wapakoneta versus Perrysburg. Wapakoneta in the blue, Perrysburg in the red. Today, shoutcasters are CJ,
Me?
and myself, Kobe McGregor from Napoleon, Ohio. So, CJ, although this is your first time shoutcasting, what are you excited to see so far today?
Big plays from the both teams, I think. Maybe like big bombs, big shatters, you know.
Oh, okay. So we're looking for like some tank carry gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay. What tanks do you like? I know you said Big Bomb and Shatter, referring to Reinhardt and Diva.
Yes.
What other tanks are you looking to see some gameplay from today?
Kind of want to see a bit of that Orisa.
Orisa, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since Overwatch 2 came out, kind of like Orisa a lot more now.
Overwatch 2? Okay. Yep. Now, we're going to be playing on Busan for the first map, right? So, Busan is a King of the Hill-esque type of map where there's a control point in the center and two teams fight to keep control of the map until it hits 100%, right?
Yep.
Typically, it's first team to get 2 points, because as you switch, you go to a different stage as you win the next or lose, right? Points are completely randomized, however, between the three, which one is first and second. So that'll be interesting. What is your favorite point on Busan? Mine personally is the one where it's like outside and there's the train that comes by.
Oh, yes. I know.
Yeah.
I kind of like Mecha Base.
Mecha, yeah, because the walls come up and down in the middle. Alright. Personally, I really want to see some like awesome Tracer or Genji gameplay. Really high mechanically challenging heroes. And if you can pull them off, they look phenomenal to watch. But if you can't pull off that hero well, your team is going to have a very rough time keeping control of the points.
Especially as Genji. One of those
Especially as
characters
Genji.
you need to know what you're doing.
Waiting for some last minute fix-ups, and then we can hopefully get the game started soon. Oh, and we're entering the game.
is Mecha Base.
Oh, it is going to be Mecha Base first. Waiting for everybody to lock in their heroes. Okay, so from Wapakoneta side, we're going to see a McCree and a Soldier for the DPS. Two very powerful hit scans at the moment. Very high damage output from the two of them. So personally, I play both of these heroes, so I'm excited to watch what they can do with it. You as a healer, I know that you are starting to become an Ana connoisseur yourself. So
You could say that.
yeah. We'll see how that goes.
My ultimate is charged.
Starting the fight off early, we're gonna fight for control of top side. Nothing too much has come out yet. A lot of utility dump. El Rusty attempting to get some early picks with the Diva Matrix with the missiles, but doesn't seem to find any. Harrisburg hoarding their own right now. Meanwhile, Wave is in the backline getting some early picks on Fairy Tail. Harrisburg manages to demech Elrust while managing to also get a pick onto Roki. And a third pick onto LS Rust. It's going to force Wapakoneta to do a very heavy step back and force them to lose control of the point to begin with.
Wapakoneta does have a Shatter and Nano though, so they could make a play out there.
Very big. Two of the more powerful ults in the game. And we're gonna start out with the Nano and the Shatter.
Ooh, but they
Big Shatter, however, the Sigma is going to counter with the ultimate of his own to stop the push.
Now they have beef on Harrisburg's side.
Wapakoneta loses Rhine very early, and then Harrisburg returns of a Nano ulted Rhine of their own. Finds one pick with it. And will find Roki on the return. King Crimson just trying to back out so he doesn't give any more charge to enemies than his team already has. Can you press space? Almost a nice drop there. Would have been a big stun for the team to get a pick. However, Sigma Shield is going down here. This could be very big for Wapakoneta if they capitalize. But it's just going to be so hard with the Reinhardt swinging and being able to interchange his shield on this choke point. Well, I think Wapakoneta really needs to give up this hall, this one hall, and they need to leave. But they are going to commit with the Valkyrie. Rhine Shatter coming out, and Wapakoneta not able to block it.
Harrisburg lost the healer and the tank.
And here comes Wapakoneta with an almost full team wipe. And Wapakoneta with the 6-man ace, looking to gain the first percentage of the control on this map as Harrisburg attempts to make a regroup. Starting to see a little bit of poking out from Roki, but he's using a lot of long-range right-clicks, not getting as much value as he could if he was just primary firing. King Crimson losing a lot of damage on his shield. He is looking for a Shatter. You can tell he's looking for the Shatter because his shield's not up all the time, but Harrisburg just isn't giving him the space or the time to do so. Ooh, and the sleep dart counter,
and it
canceled the ultimate. That is a waste of a Nano and a Earth Shatter.
Harrisburg has a Nano of their own though.
They may return with a Nano of their own, yeah. There it comes. She's also going to hit a huge nade to purple both the tanks, however her tank does fall in the process. With only one tank, Harrisburg is going to find this really hard to keep this point started.
Very interested to see if Lucio played on this.
Harrisburg has a Sigma ult of their own. This could be big for them if they manage to get a regroup going. We do have someone backcapping, meanwhile the fight is going on. We're going to see the Sigma ult come down. It is going to kill Ana. Nano Rhine, however, is going to be very hard to kill, but they managed to do it with the rock. Perrysburg just trying to not fall to the high noon, putting up shields, standing their ground. Very hard for Wapakoneta to do much here with no shields. Perrysburg comes in with a beat drop of their own to help secure the health loss and keep the fight going.
Personally, I'm not sure I would have beat there. Seemed they already had won the fight.
Wapakoneta in overtime now, they're going to have to keep throwing people on the point, hoping to kill Perrysburg. Albino Rhino is now fallen, however the rest of his team is still up, and Wapakoneta has already lost 3 members. It's going to be very hard for Wapakoneta to pull this out. But they do hit a huge Diva Bomb. Watching Albino Rhino now, trying to do some lineups to get back to point as fast as he can. His team is able to secure the point on their own, however.
A Diva did just get off a point.
Ooh. Did you see us in 9?
Yes. That Diva just got demeched off a point.
So, a lot of things that I noticed between the two teams is that Wapakoneta is very readable in that when they're going to shatter, right? Because their Ryan keeps his shield up, or doesn't really put it up at all, actually. And more so is like waiting for something to happen. And Perrysburg can read this and just doesn't give him any space to move. And once they know Wapakoneta is actually going to go through the animation of the Earth Shatter, they have tons of crowd control to stun and cancel that ultimate. And that's exactly what they did. 2 times that game, I believe, and it kept them from that point control. If Wapakoneta can stop being so readable by Perrysburg, they might have a chance. But tanks being the most carried, or being the more carry sufficient role in the game, you can't be that person to be readable as a tank. We're finding some early skirmishes. Wapakoneta is going to attempt to take high ground control, meanwhile Perrysburg is attempting early point control. I don't know if that was a good play on Perrysburg part, just leaving top ground, considering they do have a McCree. We see Fairy Tail now being overwhelmed with the amount of healing that's needed to come out. However, Roki's going to get a huge pick onto Yumi. Onto the Reaper. Perhaps his team can make a comeback. However, Wapakoneta is no tanks. Wapakoneta is just going to go for a regroup as they don't want to sacrifice more ult charge than they just have.
You're fully here.
A little bit of skirmishing, a little bit of poking coming out, nothing too much. However, we're going to see a box. Maybe they can make a play with this. Ryan just going through the box so he doesn't take over damage. He is going to fall, however, as he attempts to do it.
Koneta's Rhine is down again. But Perrysburg also doesn't have a Rhine.
Or Perrysburg now having no tanks. It's all
No
done for
tanks,
DPS,
one
supports. However, Ace up on the high ground playing on it. Just doesn't miss those shots and gets the pick that she needs for the extra ult charge and some extra point control.
Perrysburg will come back with 2 ults this time, though.
2 very big ults.
And they will probably have Shatter during the fight, too.
Both teams very close towards the Shatter. However, Perrysburg is going to have the advantage with an extra Soldier ult. However, Rogue Pixel's ult does get cancelled by the Honestly once again. And Wapakoneta is just going to clean up and swipe them with it. Big sleep darts coming out from Ace.
It's a big sleep dart. That ult could have changed everything. For
A little toxicity in the chat. Just a tad bit. But
now the Sigma switched to the Diva.
that could be big. It is a slightly better defense matrix. However, you're sacrificing a shield and a little bit of damage. Ace, however, is going to pull out a big pick onto the Reaper. Wapakoneta probably should be pushing up with this, as they are down on DPS. The main counter to our tanks, however, they're starting to realize this, and they're starting to make a push. However, Pin Crimson just can't keep up the shield damage.
Roku took out Soldier 76. Ooh, nice block on the Shatter.
Albino does get E right-clicked by the McCree and falls. Crimson jumping down on the point. He is going to wake the Diva and then manages to pin her. Diva is going to be demacked and immediately fall. Beautiful play from Wapakoneta, playing defensive until Ace can get that opening pick and then immediately shoves into the already crippled team.
Now Wapakoneta's team basically has full alts.
Ooh.
Just
We're looking at
minus the Reaper.
Ooh, almost 5
Yeah.
with Ace. Wapakoneta having 5 ults on a 93%. There's only one team fight left in this match. Unless Perrysburg can pull it out. Ooh. But it's going to be
It's
so
a nice
hard.
grab pattern. And
We
high
see
noon
Loki
as
with
well.
a high noon. 3k high noon.
Everyone used their alts in that.
Well played from Wapakoneta to bring that round back. So that round, Wapakoneta was much less readable with their Earth Shatters. And we could see that, and Perrysburg couldn't really predict it, and they just kept falling. Ace in the back hitting all these sleep darts, all the nano nades that he needs to. He's doing everything that he can as a support to get those opening picks, which you don't typically see. Great on him there.
I think a big part of that was that Perrysburg no longer had double shields, so it made things a lot more open for him.
It can. Yeah. We are going to see Wapakoneta pull out the Ryan Zarya gameplay. One of the more chemistry powerful duos in the tank pool.
Perrysburg has a Brigitte now.
We do see the Brigitte coming out, so we do see Perrysburg is going to be wanting to go for more of a brawly type of playstyle here than a poke that Wapakoneta has been going for. Once again, Perrysburg going for the early point control and Wapakoneta going for the early high ground control. Final getting some nice alt charge off that fire strike. Waiting for his team to make an early pick. He is going to turn his back and take a lot of damage from that, however.
There's a McCree
Salty
that did
Bean
flank.
trying to get some healing now, but Roki on this flank is just going to get a lot of damage and a lot of picks coming out. LS Rust on the Zarya with 70, almost 60 charge. Slowly counting down is not getting any, but 60 is enough to get a lot of damage. And with that, Wapakoneta once again gets early point control. 16 to 16% now. Waiting for Perrysburg to make regroup.
Roku with the early pick on Yumi.
Whew. That's not gonna be good for the resets.
Nope. At all. Especially when Junkrat's a poke character like he is. They lost a lot of shield.
A little bit of fighting in the Jade Temple.
Wapakoneta does have 3 ults though. They could use them.
Nano. Here comes the Nano Zarya. Ooh, Ace with. Let's see where this goes. Smua does hit an ult. And Perrysburg is going to wipe house with their ultimate combos. They aren't going to push up on the 2 supports. Ace is just going to hit a sleep dart and barely manage to get away from a Salty Beam. Wapakoneta just reaching 50% as right before they lost the point. Wapakoneta is going to be looking for the high ground advantage again. Perrysburg is a little out of position for this, but they're starting to rotate over.
Wapakoneta did pop
Roki gets a huge pick onto Inanna. Ace gets a second. Roki gets the high noon pick, and this is going to straight to Wapakoneta.
That was a last ditch effort from that Junkrat.
It could have been big if he hit it, but that was such a risky play. Risking your life, alt charge, and your ultimate to potentially get us 5k. And you're in the middle of the open nonetheless. Very risky. Fairy Tail trying to heal up his team as they're trying to get a little bit of poke in. Getting a little bit of alt charge for the team to start. Oof. Yumu in the back trying to get a flank, but he's able to escape without a pick. He takes a lot of damage there. Starting to see Perrysburg coming back up to the high ground. King Crimson with a pin on the Albino Rhino, taking both of them off the map.
That Umo would have saved him too.
Ace in a 1v1 against Yumu on the point control. Maria's gonna teleport out, however. Wapakoneta does manage to get 3 picks. Perrysburg just trying to latch on the point, however, there's just too many for Rogue Pixel to be able to take on his own.
Just could not.
Honestly, I think that was a great play from Wapakoneta to pin the opposite Rhine off of the map. Knowing that Wapakoneta has an additional Zarya, which is going to do a crap ton of damage, and has a good bit of shielding left for the team to survive, Wapakoneta is immediately going to risk his life in order to ensure that the enemies don't have an Earth Shadow of their own to punish the squishies for it. What were some of your thoughts on that match?
It seemed pretty evenly balanced for a long time, but after a while you could tell Wapakoneta just kind of adjusted their gameplay to what Perrysburg was doing. Kind of pulled away more.
It also felt as if Wapakoneta had some better ult management.
Because they would have all their ults before the other team usually.
And we'll be right back for the next map. And we're back with the Wapakoneta versus Perrysburg game. We are going to notice that Wapakoneta is going to be doing a sub out for bad cookies. We'll see how this will change their playstyle, if any. What do you think? Okay, so we're going on to King's Row, right? Very, very choke heavy first point. It's very hard to connect onto the first point without going through the first gates. And of course, this is going to be very choky. You're going to see a lot of poke damage. You're going to see a lot of area of effect damage. You're going to see a lot of crowd control. And if you just can't pull this out, your team is going to get wiped on first point, and you're going to have a rough escort ride.
I'm expecting to see a Widow here, because
Really?
seems like a really good Widow map, because there's a lot of high grounds everywhere.
Okay.
Could also
Well,
play
we've seen
Junkrat,
both
too.
Salty Bean and Ace hit some nasty sleep darts on the tanks when need be. And as I said earlier, the crowd control is very important. So we'll see how that comes in. Alright. So looking into the comps, we are going to see the Widowmaker come out from Rogi. And other than that, we're not seeing too much of a difference. We are seeing Rogue Pixel switch off of the Sigma and onto the Zarya. And we're also going to see our LS Rust switch over to the Hog, looking to get some early punishing hooks onto any tanks or squishies that may walk past the gate and get an early pick and possibly shift the tides of a team fight.
No dying.
A Junkrat here from Perrysburg is going to be probably really big, because they'll keep out Wapakoneta from getting toe point with this tiny choke right here.
Now let's Rust, walking past the shield, looking for those early punishes. However, Albino Rhino not really giving too much up. Wapakoneta taking a lot of damage here, giving up a lot of alt charge. Albino Rhino gets hooked, however, King Crimson is going to return with a Fire Strike onto Coco Frosty.
Perrysburg is down with an Onyx and a Soldier.
Perrysburg still holding out on their own through the defense. Rogue Pixel falling asleep. Albino Rhino not able to block the Shatter. King Crimson will find a 3K with it. And this should be point. Trying to get some early damage, trying to get the full team wipe, trying to ruin a little bit of respawn timers. Yumu, oh man, that point touch, I'm not so sure about.
No.
It's going to extremely delay your respawn timer, and now that they just capped point, he's going to spawn on the complete opposite side of the map.
And you can see him running down. Wapakoneta does have 3 alts, almost 4.
We are going to see a grab, but it's not going to get unless the Junkrat Tiger can get a kill. It doesn't get in kills, but it does deal a lot of damage. Albino Rhino with a huge shatter. It doesn't really seem like he's putting a lot of faith in his team to push up and kill this, punish the squishies for it. Focusing a lot on LS Rust there. Ooh, GX Pulse will find a pick onto Yumi with it. Roku with a huge flashbang will find a stun. Bad Cookies just trying to supply his team with the heals.
The alts were used from Wapakoneta in that fight.
Wapakoneta just gets the one early pick, and that's all you need in Overwatch to completely swipe a team fight. Trying to walk up, you're taking a lot of shield damage here. I don't know if this is a lot of space you're taking, but I don't know if the shield health is worth it.
No one's there to contest it, so push up a bit more, but there's no real point. They already are going.
Just trying to hold his ground.
Wapakoneta does have Shatter now.
Ooh, Yomu on the high ground with the attack visor isn't going to find a pick, and in fact, Ace is the one to eliminate him. Going back to healing his team. Big grenade onto Albino Rhino there to make sure that he doesn't receive any healing.
Out of my way.
Roki is able to destroy the Riptire to save his team there. And Crimson trying to set up for an Earth Shatter. GX Ball setting in position for it. He wants to combine his attack visor with Earth Shatter.
Harrisburg does get a pick on Ace.
Harrisburg is able to pull out a big defense push. But there is plenty of time left on the clock that, I mean, Wapakoneta could still has plenty of time to regroup, do a team fight, and if they happen to lose that, they still have enough time for another team fight after that. Harrisburg taking a lot of critical damage here, however, they are going to heal. But Albino will fall before the Immortal Field can fall, and Roki is able to get 2 picks with the High Noon, and that should be a team wipe for Wapakoneta. 3 minutes left on the clock. What a dominant push from Wapakoneta there. That's going to be a hard push to either mirror or do better than for Harrisburg.
I was kind of expecting Harrisburg to be able to hold their own a bit more with that Junkrat in between choke points, but doesn't seem to have worked very well for them. Still expecting another Widow here. Maybe even Junkrat again. Just
Junkrat again?
to throw into the point.
Oh, okay. We are going to see Harrisburg pulling out a Hanzo. Projectile version of a Widowmaker. Both snipers. Hanzo puts out more, how you say, consistent damage, but he is a projectile hero rather than a hit scan, meaning it takes time for his arrows to get to the enemy. You could, I mean, it honestly, it could be very hard for him to find some value if he's going to be staying up in this high area spot.
Both teams have opted for the Hanzo, though. Harrisburg does.
We do see Yumu pulling out the Genji, though.
Genji.
Yeah, I did say I wanted to see some Genji, so I'm hoping to see him pull out some high-tech gameplay. Crimson King taking a lot of shield damage right now.
Has went down.
Ace
really
did find a kill onto Yumu, however. 1-for-1 trades. Does miss the sleep dart. That could have been big if he would have hit it.
They give him that space to probably capture.
King Crimson losing a lot of shield on his HP, or shield HP. Albino Rhino not really losing any shield HP at all. However, his team just isn't here to capitalize on the fact that Vine just has more potential.
They did get a pick, though.
Harrisburg trying to make something happen, but the Zarya is just able to bubble everything and deal a lot of damage.
Though, as well. That could be really good for them.
We do see Wave pulling out the Storm Dragon once he sets up. King Crimson is going to get nanoed, and he's not going to be able to find a pin, so he's deep in the enemy backline with no support, and Wave is going to capitalize on this and find a pick. Wapakoneta pulling out the grab ult.
Wave
isn't going to find
though.
too many picks on it.
Wave did
And in
retaliate that grab with his own ult. Dragons.
Beautiful take from Harrisburg there. Really capitalizing on the fact that Crimson King went way too far with the charge and took the nano with him and not really getting much value out of it at all. Rogue Pixel not able to hit the hook onto the Ana and is in fact going to fall asleep. And Wapakoneta doesn't want to wake him and allow him to get any value. Perrysburg does have an Earth Shatter here. Looking to make something happen. A lot of damage coming through for Wapakoneta. They are going to see a box coming through.
That box was...
Earth Shatter coming out. It is going to stun, but you're not going to see too many eliminations coming from it. Yomu on the Genji is able to dodge the sleep dart and potentially get out of this team fight alive.
Does have Blade, and they do have Nano as well. They could go for a Nano Blade. But
Immortality Field is out now.
Dragon did get 2 of them. Pretty good ult by wave.
Rogue Pixel and Yomu, both beautiful plays. I liked how Rogue Pixel was able to use his whole hog to keep the Rhine in the corner so that he wasn't able to charge out, and then Yomu coming in to clean house.
Well, not just that, but he was also stuck in the corner with Dragon, so he's taking a lot of damage from that too. Good team effort all around.
We are going to see Perrysburg taking the second point with still 5 minutes left on the clock.
They could have the same time, if not better.
We still do have Dragon Blade on the Genji. Getting onto the high ground, scouting out his enemies.
Both supports putting in.
Ooh, Rogue Pixel with a huge hook onto Roki to find the pick. And this could be big for Perrysburg to end the match right here. Time's starting to dwindle down towards the 3-minute mark. However, they may still have time. Wapakoneta is going to have to make a last-ditch effort to make an overtime effort. They are going to have a stronger defense. Ooh, in the Earth Shatter. I don't know if that was necessary as you've already won the team fight. This is going to leave Perrysburg with an Earth Shatter, but Wapakoneta won't be able to return with one of their own.
But they will have a grab to maybe counter that Earth Shatter, so who knows. They still have plenty of time to be able to capture a point though. Take it all the way.
Rogue Pixel with a huge hook on the King Crimson and is going to find it. Wapakoneta is going to pull out the grab, but they're not going to find too many eliminations with it.
They are going to push up much farther now.
Perrysburg Yomu does find a pick on the GX pulse before he's able to teleport out.
Mine is Nano.
Rhino being Nano, just pushing up, taking space, dealing damage. Goku, however, is going to get a double high noon kill.
On the support right here. That's
completely clustered. Wapakoneta is still able to hold out on their own for the moment. However, Perrysburg is receiving big heals from their healers right now. Albino is going to fall asleep, and however, he is going to be able to capture the point with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Still pretty good time for both teams.
Although it is less than his opponents, it is only by 31 seconds. That could make a big difference later in the game, but from an outside standpoint, it's not going to matter too much, that 30 seconds.
And now we're in overtime, right? So the time will no longer go up. It will just keep going down and then they have to stay on point even when it goes down.
We are going to see Roki switch over to the Junkrat as well here. This could be both big for his standpoint, as he is on defense, and he doesn't really have to be on the front line. He can just sit in the back and just lob those grenades over to the fight. He doesn't even have to really hit the enemy to get value off of it because it bounces off of walls. And it just, like, if you walk into those bouncing grenades, you're going to take a lot of damage and you're not going to really know what too much to do with it.
Yumu also opts for the Widow here, though. So they're going double sniper. Perrysburg might be able to get it off.
Perrysburg going for a strong attack, but Albino is going to take a lot of poke damage, however. A lot of damage coming in. He's not really using his shield to block a lot of this. He's going to hit a huge fire strike in order to get a lot of alt charge, however. Here we see the Junkrat just doing what he needs to, just lobbing the grenades, getting the poke damage that he needs. Rogue's gonna look for a hook here. And Yomu on the high ground in the back, just looking to get a lot of any early picks or damage into the tanks. We're gonna see Albino is very close to his ultimate Earth Shadow. However, he is gonna fall to the Junkrat as he does have a mine that throws up the shield. Wave using his dragon is going to find King between the crane, and we see Yomu still on the high ground dealing all this damage onto the hog that he needs to.
We did catch the other 76 coming from behind and did get him.
Just dealing so much damage to Wapakoneta here. He is going to use his attack visor and does manage to find the Baptiste. Almost finds the Ana, however, she doesn't nade herself in order to heal. However, that elimination onto the Baptiste could be big. We're going to see an Earth Shadow from Crimson King, and it is going to cause him to be able to fight the other Reinhardt. However, he's not going to find too much else. GX Pulse with an attack visor of his own does find 2 squishies in the Moira and the Hanzo. 20 seconds left on the clock. Perrysburg doesn't have much time left. They have one team fight.
And they have to be wary about the tire now, because if that goes off on all of them, they are dead.
He nanoed the hog, however, Coco Frosty.
Tire didn't come out.
Crimson King just trying to hold his ground on point. Being pushed on, but he has faith in his team to heal him and deal the damage that they need to. We are going to see the box come out. Not going to find much damage value from the Ryan, however, Ryan is able to hold his own with his team. Swinging on point, it's not looking good for Perrysburg here. Perrysburg not able to even take a single tick on the point with the 2-minute.
I think a big player of that is Wapakoneta did use tire on the last one to get rid of Wave, making him already down 1 DPS.
Not going to see too much of a roster change coming in from Perrysburg, nor from Wapakoneta. We are going to see the Diva coming back out from LS Rust, which is going to be very important when it comes to the Hanzo arrows that have the potential of a one-shot headshot onto small HP enemies and big shield damaging arrows as well.
Roku opting for the Junkrat on this. Probably going to shoot over the ledge. If I'm not incorrect, doesn't Wapakoneta only need to get 1 tick now to just win the whole game?
It looks like we're going to see Salty Bean throwing an early damage orb.
Yep, a 1 tick.
I'm not so sure that was really that big, as he only got 8 ult charge, which he can get from like an easy like 100. And now he has a cooldown on it, one of his more important abilities in the game.
Wapakoneta did go for the monkey.
That could be very big. Final Rhino taking a lot of damage.
Even if they get 1 pick, the game might be over.
On point.
Because all they need is 1 tick.
All of Perrysburg is going to be nanoed or naded, so they're not really
Looks like it was probably the game.
Lots of excitement going on.
Yes, there is.
Wapakoneta takes the second map on King's Row. Let's see what this play of the game is. We're going to see Roku on the Cassidy. Ooh, that flashbang! Really?
He stopped the Genji.
And then he's able to hit the
tracks.
double headshot on the Rogue Pixel when he's asleep. 14,000 damage. Even more healing coming in from Bad Cookies. As a sub, we are going to see he is going to get promoted, possibly the 10 strike. We aren't going to see the 10 strike as there wasn't enough. However, 9 votes, 18,000 healing coming in from a sub. Big plays coming in from Bad Cookies on the Baptiste. And we'll be right back.
Traveling to Dorado. Initiating match.
Alright, and we're back on Dorado for the Wapakoneta Perrysburg match. We're on match point, Wapakoneta's favor. However, we also saw 2 sub-ins this game. Wapakoneta is going to be subbing in for Duke, and Perrysburg will be subbing in Pisces. We'll see how that can alter each team's charisma, chemistry, morale, strategy. We do see Albino Rhino point out a new hero in Orisa. I know you said you wanted to see some Orisa. Been playing a lot of Overwatch 2 lately. We're gonna see Duke trying to fill in for the other tank's role in the Zarya. Once again, having great chemistry with Orion. They're also going to have a Brig, so those 3 should be on your front line, and you're going to be going for a very bruiser-like composition. Meanwhile, you're going to have Perrysburg with more of a long-ranged poke type of composition.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to see the bunker comp come out on this map.
We are going to see Salty Bean trying to get some damage in. He's not really doing a whole lot. In fact, he's taking a lot more than he's dealing. Crimson just trying to get under the bridge with the shields, blocking as much damage as possible. He's going to start forcing Perrysburg to jump down. Voki is able to find a pick. Ace is just trying to keep Crimson confined.
He got another.
Punishes Yomu for falling down too late and not being with the team. At this point, we'll go to Wapakoneta and a devastating first push.
That didn't even last a whole minute. Like 30 seconds.
Perrysburg? No. Wapakoneta. Ace on the Ana, just going to have to sit on the point, push up while the rest of his team tries to do the team fighting. However, with this, he's not really able to give them much value in his sleep dart, his heal, or his nade.
That could hurt him in the long run, but they don't push too far. They should be alright.
His team seems to be sufficient enough with the Mercy alone that they're not taking too much damage.
Mercy does ult. They did chatter too.
Move it out.
Now that Ace is regrouped with his team, we are going to start to see a 6v6 where our support can actually support the team rather than just be a payload bot. We're going to see a grab surge come out. Failed attempt at a sleep dart could have been big, however Salty Bean with the attack visor is able to punish. Pisces on the Mercies, not with her team, however, they are sufficient enough with the elements they had gotten beforehand. Seems Perrysburg wants to chase down Roki, however, he's able to punish Salty Bean.
I understand the attempt. I don't think it was much worth. Now he just has to wait for a respawn. Do opt for the high ground.
Crimson King trying to get the Yomi Fairy Tail back.
He did get the Mercy though. Be really big. Up.
And Wapakoneta is going to find the 4K to win the team fight and get the second point in yet another dominant attack push with 5 minutes left on the clock for one final payload push. Crimson King taking a lot of shield on that damage. Taking a lot of damage on the shield right now. I'm not so sure this is really worth it. Zarya has a lot of energy here. She's trying to punish, maybe gain some more of her own.
Did get the ESO off.
Punishing Rogue Pixel for not being with his team. Zarya with 100 energy, dealing the most damage she possibly can. just melting through the squishies, but she is going to be hooked and
Did die.
fall to Rogue Pixel.
Sadly, all that energy is gone. But did get rezzed by the Mercy. Be very helpful for him. That grab comes out.
Fairy Tail ulting to make sure the team survives. Switching between damage and heal. Make sure that they get the value of both. Rogue Pixel trying to contest, however, it won't be much of a value. And Wapakoneta dominating Dorado with a 4 minutes left on the clock. Almost an entire minute more than what they had on Kingdraw.
Perrysburg just seemed very lost that whole game.
Just a complete snowball. We'll see how Perrysburg can mirror or potentially do better, but that's going to be a very hard feat.
Especially after that round. Probably not feeling too well right now about that.
Very demoralizing. But you need to get it back together. And here's the thing about mentality as a team is if one member gets demoralized, the entire team gets demoralized off of that. You can't allow that to happen if you're Perrysburg here. You have to just look at what you did wrong, look at what they did well, and completely reverse what you did. We're actually going to see a Zenyatta here. One of the more, how do you say, interesting supports in the game. Provides the second least amount of healing on the team. And should honestly be considered damage at this point.
Yes.
But what he does do is he does it well. So we'll see how Wave can pull out the Zenyatta. Albino Rhino and Rogue both going for a Diva Monkey comp, looking to maybe dive onto Roki or GX Pulse. Trying to punish him. We're all going to see Rogue deal a little bit of damage, mainly looking for a defense magic there. Just trying to poke out the shield, dealing as much damage as possible, but it's not doing as much as Diva just doesn't do enough damage as a tank. Turning back to the team, does eat the Fire Strike to ensure that they don't gain any unnecessary art charge.
Zenyatta is dead now.
Ooh, big pick. You see Yomu going for the flank on the Reaper. He spots Ace on the Ana. Will he be able to find a pick, or will she drop? She's going to drop, and Yomu just not able to find her. And she's able to escape! And Yomu is forced to retreat without any eliminations there.
He's going to try the same thing again, it looks like.
Rhino dropping down his bubble shield in order to ensure that he can get a little bit of percentage on the payload. However, Crimson King trying to make sure that they don't gain any distance on the payload. Not able to do much as he is going to get purple naded. Roki with a huge pick onto the Zenyatta. Yomu trying to fight on payload. However, Crimson King with a huge pin is going to get the elimination. Pisces trying to keep Albino alive, but there's too much damage coming in from both.
Pisces goes next too.
BB Diva, Best Diva, I'm not quite sure what the point of that was. Gave up a lot of ult charge there and really messed up the respawn timer. We're going to see Salty Bean attempting to go for a Reaper flank here. But not going to be aware of Roki's position is going to take a little bit of damage and forced to give up the high ground.
At this point, he shouldn't be going for the Reaper flank. He's done it 3 times. They're probably expecting it by now. Huge Sigma ult coming in from Duke. Not going to find any limbs, but going to deal huge amounts of damage for his team to capitalize off of it. He did get revived.
It appears we have suffered a minor setback.
They are playing a lot more aggressive than they were before now.
Rogue Pixel just really sitting on his point. It seems like he doesn't have a map and he's just being swung on by Crimson King. He's just not reacting at all. He's too focused on the squishies on the high ground. Forcing Albino basically in a 1v6 on the payload. Perrysburg not able to get as dominant of a push, only having 1 minute left on the clock to get to the first point. They are halfway, however. Want to see 2 ults coming in for Wapakoneta here. In the Valkyrie and the Earth Shatter. 3 of their members also near 50% ult charge. Big May wall to wall off Crimson King, however his healers are just more consistent with it and are able to keep him alive while he can hit the Earth Shatter and hit 2 major picks. 30 seconds on the clock. Perrysburg has 1 team fight to win this map for the match point.
But they do need to wait for everyone, so.
Yomer's gonna attempt to jump onto the Genji. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. King dropping down to make sure that they don't gain anymore. Distance traveled is going to be punished for it as the rest of his team did not follow. Rogue Pixel, just trying to push the payload, is going to attempt to get onto Fairy Tail so that she can't heal her team. However, D.Va just doesn't do as much damage. Able to find Fairy Tail. Trying to chase down GX, however, Soldier's just too fast. It seems Rogue Pixel doesn't know quite what to focus on and just isn't able to find these eliminations that they need. Yomu just running circles around Roki, however, Roki is able to find him and hit the high noon for the map-winning play. Wapakoneta moves on. Well played from both teams. Excited for the play of the game. We have Crimson King on the Reinhardt. Looking for big Earth Shadow play here. Swinging that hammer back and forth. Able to find 2. And ult being
that's
for the
solo
last
shatter. Wow.
We are gonna see Fairy Tail hitting a lot of assists. Roki mirroring that in eliminations. Wave hitting a lot of healing. And Duke with a bunch of objective kills, making sure that they can't push the payload. And we will be right back. And we're back with some final thoughts of the Wapakoneta Perrysburg quarterfinals. CJ, what did you think of what you saw during those 3 maps?
It seemed that they both were consistently even the whole time, but this last map, Perrysburg, something happened and they lost momentum or something, but they did not get it going at all.
I agree. It was very equal, very small, minor things is what decided the previous maps. But Wapakoneta, man, just going to Dorado, just with an absolute dominant push, leaving them with 5 minutes left on the clock. It was going to be very hard for Perrysburg to begin with. And honestly, I believe Perrysburg was very demoralized halfway through the 2nd map at that. And that did affect them in the end. We'll see what Wapakoneta can do up next in their next match, and that is us signing off.